Are Sigma females really allergic to fake positivity? If you're a Sigma female, chances are you've felt that internal cringe when someone serves you up a heap of fake smiles and hollow good vibes. Let's dive into it. All right, let's talk about Sigma females. You know who you are. You're independent, self-sufficient, and unapologetically real. You don't conform to societal norms, and you definitely don't need validation from others. You walk your own path, and you make your own rules. But there's one thing that's for sure. You've got a radar for authenticity and fake positivity. It doesn't stand a chance. In a world that seems obsessed with constant good vibes, social media filters, and people telling you to just stay positive, Sigma females are often left feeling, well, repelled. You value real, raw emotions, the ups, the downs, the complexity of human experience. So, when someone comes at you with that forced, everything's fine attitude, it just doesn't sit right. You feel it, don't you? And that's where the challenge lies. Society loves to paint a picture of happiness that's oversimplified and unrealistic. But you crave depth, realness, connection that goes beyond the surface-level pleasantries. Fake positivity? Yeah, it's a huge turnoff. But why? Let's dig a little deeper into the Sigma mindset. You're not just about being alone or avoiding the crowd. You're about freedom. Freedom to express yourself without needing to fit into any mold. You don't care about pretending everything's okay when it's not. That's why fake positivity gets under your skin. You are someone who values being unapologetically yourself. And that's a rare quality in today's world, where people are often expected to conform to some societal standard, whether it's about how they look, how they act, or even how they feel. But you, Sigma female, you've learned to see through all that. You've learned to carve your own path in life, one that is defined by your values and your beliefs, not by someone else's expectations. It's not that you want to isolate yourself or reject connection altogether. No, it's about the type of connection that feels real to you. It's about being able to exist in the world without feeling the pressure to constantly smile, to constantly pretend that everything is perfect when it's not. This is where fake positivity comes into play. In a world where everyone is trying to be happy all the time, trying to put on this front of being cheerful, Sigma females find it draining. You are not someone who will pretend to be something you're not just to fit in, and that's what fake positivity asks of you. It asks you to ignore your true feelings and put on a mask to make other people comfortable, and that's something you just can't do. You don't do fake. You don't pretend. If something is bothering you, you'll face it head-on, not cover it up with forced smiles and shallow platitudes. And that's what makes you different from the majority of people. You don't run from discomfort. You face it. You embrace your emotions, whether they're positive or negative, because you understand that emotions are complex, and there's no need to oversimplify them just for the sake of appearing happy. There's a deep understanding within you that life is not just about good times and smooth sailing. Life is about challenges, growth, struggles, and triumphs. It's about feeling deeply, whether it's joy, sadness, frustration, or hope. These emotions are what make us human, and they deserve to be acknowledged and respected. So when someone comes along with their fake positivity, it feels like an insult to everything you stand for. It feels like they're asking you to throw away your authenticity, your vulnerability, your true self, just to fit into this unrealistic and shallow version of what happiness should look like. And the thing is, you don't need that kind of validation. You don't need to please others by pretending to be happy when you're not. You don't need to keep up with the constant barrage of everything's fine rhetoric that we're bombarded with daily. For you, authenticity is everything. It's about showing up as who you truly are, no matter what the situation is. Whether you're feeling high on life or completely down, you embrace it. You allow yourself to feel it, to sit with it, and to learn from it. Fake positivity, on the other hand, is about denying what's real, about putting on a show, about hiding behind a mask because society has told you that you're supposed to always be happy. It's a social construct that doesn't leave room for authenticity, and that's why it bothers you so much. You're not someone who buys into superficiality. You're someone who seeks depth in everything you do, from your relationships to your own inner life. That's why fake positivity feels so wrong to you. It's shallow. It's a facade. It's the opposite of everything you stand for. You don't shy away from the difficult stuff. You tackle it head on. You deal with your emotions, and you expect others to do the same. That's why when someone offers you a forced, "don't worry, be happy" attitude, it just doesn't resonate with you. It feels empty. It feels like they're offering you something that doesn't even address the real issue at hand. And you can't engage with that because it's not real. It's not authentic. It's not what you need. What you need is real talk. You need someone to acknowledge that life isn't perfect and that it's okay not to be okay. You need to know that people can be vulnerable with you, that they can express their true selves without fear of judgment or rejection. You don't need people to put on a happy face and pretend everything is fine when it's clearly not. You need depth. You need rawness. You need honesty. And that's why you'll never buy into fake positivity. It just doesn't fit into your world. You're a Sigma female because you've already realized that life is complex. You've realized that people are complex and that pretending everything is fine all the time doesn't serve anyone. It's exhausting, it's fake, and it's ultimately isolating. It keeps people from having real, meaningful connections because they're too busy trying to uphold this illusion of constant happiness. You don't need that. You understand that sometimes life is messy, sometimes things go wrong, sometimes people feel down, and that's okay. What's not okay is pretending like everything is perfect when it's not. You know that the only way to move forward is to face the truth. The truth about yourself, the truth about your emotions, and the truth about the world around you. Fake positivity doesn't allow for that kind of honesty. It just keeps everyone trapped in this cycle of pretending. But you've broken free from that. You've found the strength to stand tall in your authenticity. You've chosen to live life on your own terms, and that means embracing all the highs and lows that come with it. It means rejecting the pressure to conform to societal standards of happiness, and instead creating your own definition of what it means to live a fulfilled life. You understand that happiness doesn't come from pretending everything is fine. Happiness comes from being real, from facing the challenges head-on, and from embracing the full range of human emotions. So, when you see fake positivity creeping in, you don't buy into it. You don't feel the need to pretend. You don't need to fit into anyone else's box. You've created your own space, a space where authenticity reigns, and that's all you need. In a world full of people who are busy pretending, you're the one who's keeping it real. And that's what makes you so powerful. You don't need fake positivity to validate your worth. You're enough, just as you are, in all your complexity and authenticity. And that's something no one can take away from you. You are free to be yourself, and you are strong because of it. So, when the fake positivity comes your way, just remember, you don't need it. You've already got everything you need within you. And that's the real power of a Sigma female. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. I'd love to hear your experiences with fake positivity, and let's keep this conversation going. All right, let's move on. When someone tells you to just smile or think positive, you can't help but roll your eyes. It's not that you're negative or bitter, far from it. You're just someone who values authenticity and genuine human connection. You see through the surface-level encouragement that others offer, the kind of advice that's meant to brush away the real issues with a simple solution. It's like when someone says, "Don't worry, be happy," and it feels more like an attempt to dismiss your feelings than to actually understand them. You're not trying to be difficult or push away positivity. You're just trying to get through the moment, and fake positivity doesn't help you do that. You know that life isn't all about being happy all the time. It's not about always having a smile plastered on your face, pretending everything is okay when it's clearly not. When you're having a tough day, you don't want someone telling you to cheer up like it's the most obvious thing in the world. It's not that you don't appreciate encouragement, but when it comes in the form of empty words like that, it just feels hollow. Instead, what you crave is understanding. You want someone to recognize that it's okay not to be okay sometimes. Life has its ups and downs, and you want the space to experience both without feeling the pressure to just think positive and move on. That's the difference. It's not about rejecting positivity, it's about rejecting superficiality. It's about wanting depth, about wanting people to meet you where you are, without rushing you to move past the moment. You don't need someone to tell you to smile when you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. What you need is validation, empathy, and the freedom to feel what you're feeling without being told how to feel. It's about allowing yourself to experience emotions in their full spectrum: joy, frustration, sadness, hope, all of it. Life isn't just about putting on a mask to get through the day. It's about embracing the messiness of it all. It's about allowing yourself to go through the motions and acknowledge that sometimes things suck. And that's okay. You don't need someone to tell you everything is fine when you're struggling to make sense of your own feelings. What you need is someone who will just sit with you, who will understand that sometimes you don't need advice, you just need a listener. You don't need to be fixed or cheered up. You need people who respect your emotional space and acknowledge that healing isn't a one-size-fits-all process. It's a journey, and sometimes that journey involves sitting in discomfort. That's a hard truth that many people don't understand, and that's why you feel frustrated when someone tells you to just think positive. They don't realize that you're not asking for a quick fix, and you're not looking for a way to bypass the pain. You're looking for authenticity. You're looking for someone to honor your emotional experience. You're not expecting anyone to solve your problems, and you're certainly not expecting them to give you generic advice. What you're asking for is a genuine connection, one where you can be real, one where you don't have to pretend. And the reality is, not everyone gets that. Not everyone can meet you on the same emotional level, and that's why you find fake positivity so irritating. It feels like an attempt to gloss over something real, something human, with a shiny, empty surface that does nothing to address the actual issue at hand. It's frustrating because you know that pretending everything is fine doesn't help anyone, least of all yourself. You're not saying that you don't believe in the power of positivity or that you don't want to feel good. What you're saying is that there's a time and a place for everything, and when you're going through something difficult, that time and place isn't about forcing a smile or ignoring your emotions. It's about being real. It's about being vulnerable and allowing yourself the grace to experience whatever it is you're feeling without the pressure to move past it immediately. When someone tells you to think positive, it's almost like they're telling you to reject your own emotional experience. They're telling you that your feelings aren't valid, that your struggles aren't worthy of attention. And that's not only frustrating, it's disrespectful. You're not negative. You're not bitter. You're human. And humans have a complex range of emotions that go beyond just happiness or positivity. You understand that not every day is going to be bright and sunny, and that's okay. What's not okay is being expected to always put on a happy face to please others or to make them feel comfortable. You don't live for others' comfort. You live for your own authenticity. You know that sometimes you'll need to be sad, sometimes you'll need to vent, and sometimes you'll just need to sit with your emotions without anyone telling you how you should feel. That's what makes you different. You're not afraid to experience the full spectrum of emotions because you understand that each emotion plays a role in shaping who you are. The good days and the bad days, the highs and the lows, they're all part of the journey. And the journey isn't about pretending that everything is always perfect. It's about embracing each moment for what it is without judgment and allowing yourself the space to feel. So when someone comes at you with their just smile or think positive advice, you can't help but roll your eyes. It's not that you don't appreciate the sentiment, but it's a sentiment that misses the mark. It's an oversimplification of something much more complicated. It's a denial of the real, raw, and beautiful messiness that makes us human. You don't need fake positivity to get through your challenges. You don't need anyone to rush you into a better mood or force you to pretend everything is fine when it's not. What you need is the freedom to be real. You need people who understand that sometimes you need to be vulnerable. You need the space to process your emotions without judgment. And that's the real difference between you and those who offer empty advice. You value authenticity over convenience. You understand that being true to yourself in both the highs and the lows is what truly matters. So when someone tells you to just smile or think positive, you don't just roll your eyes because it's annoying. You roll your eyes because it's a reminder of how disconnected the world can be from what truly matters. Real, unfiltered emotions. It's not about being negative, it's about being real. And that's what makes you a Sigma female, someone who embraces the full range of what it means to be human. Sigma females aren't afraid to face the hard truths, and when someone tries to mask those truths with a shiny, plastic, positive vibe, you feel like they're insulting your intelligence. You don't need to sugarcoat things to make them easier to digest. You want the real deal. Life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, and you know that better than anyone. You've walked through difficult times, you've faced challenges, and you've come out stronger on the other side. And through it all, you've learned that the most powerful thing you can do is face the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. It's not about running away from the harsh realities of life. It's about embracing them, learning from them, and growing because of them. That's what makes you different from so many others who would rather hide behind a veil of fake positivity, pretending that everything is okay when it's not. When you encounter someone who tries to cover up the truth with shallow optimism, it doesn't resonate with you. In fact, it feels like a slap in the face. It's like they're telling you that your struggles aren't valid, that the things you've been through don't matter, because they don't fit into the happy, shiny picture they're trying to present. But here's the thing, you've seen the truth, and you know that pretending things are better than they really are doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't help you, and it doesn't help the people around you. Life isn't about masking the truth with a fake smile. It's about accepting the truth, no matter how hard it is to face. And when someone tries to sugarcoat reality with a forced positive vibe, it feels like they're denying the very essence of what makes us human. It's like they're trying to erase the struggles and the pain that are a part of everyone's journey. But you, Sigma female, you don't need that. You don't need a fake band-aid over a real wound. You need to address the wound, acknowledge it, and heal from it. Sugarcoating things only delays that healing process. And that's why when people try to tell you to just think positive or look on the bright side, when you're dealing with something real, it just feels wrong. You know that the truth has to be faced head-on, not avoided with empty words or shallow encouragement. It's not that you're against positivity, but you know that true positivity isn't about pretending everything is perfect. True positivity is about acknowledging the pain and the struggle, and then deciding to keep going despite it. It's about facing the hard truths of life and still choosing to move forward. When people try to mask those hard truths with a plastic smile and a fake good vibes only attitude, it feels like they're trying to invalidate your experiences. It's almost like they're telling you that the pain you've felt or the challenges you've faced don't matter. But the truth is, those struggles are a huge part of who you are. They shape you, they teach you, and they make you stronger. And when someone tries to cover that up with fake optimism, it feels disrespectful. It feels like they're not respecting your journey, your strength, and your resilience. You don't need that shallow kind of encouragement. You need someone who acknowledges the depth of what you've been through and the strength it took to get to where you are now. You need someone who understands that life isn't always easy, but that doesn't mean it's not worth living. You don't need a plastic, positive vibe that's just there to make people feel better in the moment. You need something real. You need honesty. You need authenticity. That's why when people try to sugarcoat things with empty words, it just doesn't sit right with you. It feels fake, and you don't have time for fake. You're someone who wants the truth, even if it's hard to hear, because you know that facing the truth is the only way to move forward. When you face the truth, you don't stay stuck in your pain. You acknowledge it, you process it, and then you learn from it. And that's where true growth happens. But when someone tries to cover up that truth with meaningless positivity, it just keeps you stuck. It keeps you from processing what's really going on, and it prevents you from moving forward. Sigma females understand that the only way to move forward is to deal with the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. You understand that sometimes life is hard, sometimes things don't go as planned, and sometimes people hurt. But you also understand that those experiences don't define you. What defines you is how you choose to move forward, how you choose to respond to the challenges that life throws your way. That's where your strength lies, in your ability to face the truth, no matter how difficult it might be. And that's why fake positivity just doesn't work for you. It's a distraction. It's a way of avoiding the real work that needs to be done. It's about brushing everything under the rug and pretending that nothing is wrong, when the truth is that something is wrong. You don't need to hide from the truth. You need to face it. You need to acknowledge it. You need to process it. And you need to keep moving forward no matter what. That's why fake positivity doesn't work for you. It's about trying to skip over the difficult parts of life, but you know that the difficult parts are just as important as the easy parts. They're what shape you, what teach you, and what help you grow. And that's why you're not afraid to face those hard truths. You don't shy away from discomfort. You don't shy away from pain. You don't shy away from the messiness of life. Instead, you lean into it. You confront it. You deal with it head on. And that's why when someone tries to mask those truths with a shiny, plastic, positive vibe, it just doesn't work for you. It's not about being negative. It's about being real. And that's what you want, the real deal. You want honesty. You want authenticity. You want people to face the truth, even when it's hard. You want people to understand that sometimes life is tough, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human, and that's something worth celebrating. So when someone tries to hide the truth with a fake smile and a "don't worry, be happy" attitude, it doesn't fool you. You see right through it. You know that true strength comes from facing the hard truths, not avoiding them. And that's what makes you a Sigma female. Someone who isn't afraid to embrace reality, no matter how tough it might be. You face the truth, and that's what makes you strong. Here's the breakthrough moment. Sigma females have an emotional defense mechanism. It's not just about rejecting fake positivity, it's about protecting your energy. When you feel that fake energy around you, it's like a toxic cloud. It's draining, and you simply don't have the time or patience for it. You've got enough going on in your life already. You don't need to waste your energy on people who are more concerned with putting on a mask than being real with you. Life is demanding enough without having to deal with fake positivity. It's exhausting, and it takes away from the things that really matter to you. You're about quality, not quantity. You don't need to surround yourself with people who don't bring anything authentic to the table. When you're constantly around fake positivity, it feels like your emotions are being manipulated. It's like trying to hold on to something real in a sea of superficiality. It wears you down, and it eventually leaves you feeling drained. You can sense it when someone isn't being authentic with you. It's like your radar goes off, and you know that whatever they're saying isn't coming from a real place. That's when your emotional defense mechanism kicks in. You start to withdraw, to protect yourself from the fake energy that's surrounding you. You know you're not being rude or distant, you're just protecting your peace. Because let's be honest, Sigma females don't have the time for anything that isn't real. Your time is precious, and you choose to spend it wisely. Fake positivity just isn't worth your time or energy, and this is where emotional authenticity comes into play. What you prioritize is emotional authenticity. It's like an unspoken rule in your world. If you're not being real, you're out. Simple as that. You don't have the energy to entertain people who aren't willing to be real with you. Life's too short for pretending. You've been through enough to know that pretending everything is okay when it's not just makes things worse. You're not about to put up with fake smiles and shallow compliments when what you really need is someone who gets it, who understands that life isn't always easy, and that sometimes it's okay to not be okay. That's why you put so much value on emotional authenticity. You don't need a perfectly curated image of happiness. You need people who can share their raw, unfiltered selves with you. You need connections that are grounded in reality, not in a facade of perfection. Sigma females reject fake positivity because they know it doesn't serve them. What they need is something real, something raw, something genuine. You don't want to be surrounded by people who are too afraid to show their true selves. You don't need fake smiles, fake compliments, or fake promises. You need real conversations, real support, and real vulnerability. That's how meaningful connections are made, by showing up as your true self and allowing others to do the same. You don't need to hold up a mask to protect yourself from the world, because you already know that when you show up authentically, you attract people who are in alignment with who you truly are. That's why fake positivity doesn't work for you. It's not just an annoyance, it's a threat to your emotional well-being. When you engage with fake positivity, it feels like you're being asked to play a game that you're not interested in. You're not here to play games, you're here to live truthfully, to experience life in its full range of emotions, and to connect with people who are willing to do the same. Fake positivity isn't part of that equation. It doesn't allow for real emotions to exist. It silences the struggles, the challenges, and the complexity that make us human. But you, Sigma female, you embrace all of that. You embrace the messiness, the imperfections, and the vulnerability. You understand that these things are what make life real and meaningful. That's why you choose authenticity over anything else. It's not about rejecting positivity altogether. It's about rejecting anything that feels forced or inauthentic. You know that positivity has its place, but it has to come from a genuine source. It has to be rooted in truth, and that's what you need in your life, truth. So when you encounter fake positivity, you simply step back. You don't engage with it. You don't let it drain your energy or manipulate your emotions. You know better than to let that kind of energy into your world. And the people who respect that, who understand the value of emotional authenticity, are the ones who will stay in your circle, because you don't settle for less. You don't settle for anything less than real, raw, and authentic. You know your worth, and you know that you deserve people who are willing to show up as their true selves. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real, and that's the kind of energy you want in your life. The energy of people who are willing to be vulnerable, who are willing to face the hard truths, and who are willing to be real with themselves and with you. Fake positivity doesn't create that. It creates a barrier, a wall between you and the people you need to connect with. But you're not interested in walls, you're interested in bridges. Bridges that connect people through honesty, through realness, through emotional authenticity. And you know that when you surround yourself with that kind of energy, your own energy flourishes. You don't have to waste your time pretending to be something you're not, and you don't have to spend your time trying to make others feel better by pretending everything is okay when it's not. You get to be yourself, fully and unapologetically, and you get to be surrounded by people who are doing the same. That's the world you want to live in. That's the world you create when you prioritize emotional authenticity and reject fake positivity. And that's why your emotional defense mechanism is so important. It's not about pushing people away, it's about protecting your peace, protecting your energy, and creating space for the people who are ready to show up for you in the most real, raw, and authentic way possible. You don't need fake positivity. You need real connections, and that's exactly what you're going to have. So, to wrap this up, it's not that Sigma females are cynical or jaded. It's just that you've learned to trust your instincts. You've learned that true positivity isn't about smiling through the pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's about being honest with yourself, owning your emotions, and surrounding yourself with people who do the same. Fake positivity? It's just not for you. It's okay to acknowledge the messiness of life, and that's what makes you so incredibly powerful. You don't need a perfect world, you need a real one. All right, Sigma Queens, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had that gut reaction to fake positivity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And hey, if you're vibing with this content, check out my other videos on Sigma females and why we value authenticity over everything else. Stay true, stay real. See you next time.